Welcome to the show. Let's begin as usual with the COVID-19. It ain't going away. Much like making an excuse for why you're not the father. No, I'm just joking. But I don't want to offend people with the Lori gag. Cases 33,603. We are just 400 cases shy of 38,000. We need to get those numbers low. None have recovered. Went up to 780 deaths. State of Texas, 2.64 million. None have recovered. 43,629 deaths. United States, none have recovered. 28.5, 510K. 113 total cases worldwide. 63.5 have recovered, and 2.5 million deaths. Now the biggest ever is in California. Let's check that out. 1.19 million with 2027. So if we add that, let's add this up. So we got 1.19 plus 2027. That, well, that's 2028.19 plus tax. But if we were to divide it, well, we're just now up to 20,000 cases. No carrying the twos around here. 21,102 plus 115. See, 1 plus 1 is 2. $21,117 deaths. Feels good to use math in your head. What can be done about this? Well, experts say if you got the virus, you need to immediately get the vaccine. Talk to your doctor and see if you're eligible for the vaccine. If you got COVID-19 symptoms, you need to go straight to your doctor immediately. Same thing goes in school. If you have the COVID symptoms, you need to notify your school nurse immediately. It ain't no walk in the park. Let your teacher know and let your school nurse know. The goal of every school is to reopen and stay open. That's the education agenda. So, what can you do to protect yourself? I've always stated this on my show, and I'm afraid I have to do it again. You need to wear a mask. It can be any type of surgical mask. You can get those. You need to have a face mask or a face shield. I recommend if you're going to go outside jogging, you need to get yourself a face shield. It's not that expensive. I mean, get one of those like face shield masks. I mean, I don't know if you can buy face shields at you can probably find them at like Walmart or Home Depot, but it's like easy. You can just use your cloth, but Yeah, if you're going to go out jogging, you wear a face shield. If you're going to go in public, if you're going to go out grocery shopping, you wear a face mask. Again, the face mask has to be at the bridge of the nose. Not down here, nor at the chin. It has to be at the bridge of the nose. To right here. Also, social distancing. This is the big factor here. 6 feet apart. It's like I always say, you need to keep calm and stay 6 feet. It's like I always say, you need to make sure that you are staying 6 feet away. And I've been trying to find a polo shirt about this. There is a website called Zazzle who sells these shirts, and they sell shipping. They sell these kind of shirts, and they probably sell them plus shipping. You can customize it any way you want. So if you want to get this, what I recommend, if you want to get the shirt, you can go to Zazzle.com and you can customize it any way you want. You can customize the polo. It can be white, it can be gray. You can edit the design. And you can edit text. But I recommend that you wear it every time. Lastly, you need to make sure that, and lastly, if you have a medical condition, just make sure if you have a medical condition or you're under 10 years old, that don't wear a mask. Even if they ask you, just wear. Don't listen to those anti-maskers. They're a bunch of haters. They believe the numbers are fake. The numbers are not real. And the numbers are real. They're not fake. The media does a great job in giving us updates on the virus. So that's basically all I need to say. We got more still ahead. Next, there's a tug of war going on for your water bill. After last week's big freeze, there's a tug of war going on with your water bill. What you need to know. Plus, we're going to look at fast food viral videos workers who were fired for a fast food viral video wiping a hamburger bun on the floor and then serving it to a customer. With that, and with also a Chili's employee who was fired for spitting in a cup. After he denied it, the police gave him a DNA test. Wait till you see what happens. And also, and 3 Houston men will face civil charges after guns, cash, and other items stolen for 23 at Kingsville. All that's next. There's a tug of war going on. If you remember last week's big freeze, all pipes were bursted because of that big freeze, and now there's plenty of people out there whose water bills are sky high. And if you're one of those people in Corpus Christi, you know what I'm talking about. And if you live in Corpus Christi, Here's what you can do. And if you're a customer, you need to include the following information: your first and last name, address listed in the account number, if you know it, a good callback number. And here's what else you can do. Here's what else you can do. No late fees during the February billing cycle. No disconnections for non-payment through March. Wastewater winter quarter average is not be calculated. You can also request a bill review for the City's Utility Commission's office by Friday, April 16th at 5 o'clock. Also, you can also contact the UBO, which is Utility Business Office in your county or state. And you can also pay an amount equal to the previous month's water charges. Keeping in mind, this was before that big freeze. Or this month's water charges. Or you can do it both ways by balancing. Trying to find the right balance. Making sure that it's equal. But whichever is the lower price. So choose wisely. And if your water bill goes high, well, it all depends on how high or low your water bill is. If you have the lowest water bill, go with it. But if you decide to go for the high, well, you're gonna have to take out another loan on the house, unless you're buying two houses. If so, I would not recommend it. There's more Give Me Rick when we come back, including the 3 Houston men who faced several charges after guns, cash, and items were stolen from 23 cars. We'll have that report when we come back. There's the latest information happening in Kingsville, where 3 men from Houston were arrested after 23 vehicles were burglarized in the Kingsville County. We now know the names. Tamaj Sylvester, Dion J. Lampkins, and Cameron Bullock. They all face several charges, including engaging in organized crime and possession of a firearm by a felon, and possession of firearms by a felon. Those several items were stolen out of the 23 vehicles that were broken into on yesterday. The Legends at Kingsville apartment complex included laptops, guns, purses, backpacks, and cash. They were able to flee the scene after later stopped by the District Attorney Special Investigator Mike Thomas. And it's an ongoing investigation. And if you have noticed that the vehicle was burglarized on February 25th, please make a report if a report has not been made. At this point in the investigation, there are some recovered items property that appear to be stolen, but have not been identified by the owner. So this is still ongoing. But if you live in Kingsville, and if you're one of the Kingsville people that happen stolen, you can just file that police report, and your items can be recovered. Going back to COVID now, for the Alice ISD, 270 are designated for Alice ISD employees. So when I think about this is, do I think it's mandatory? Well, it could be an option for the teachers, We don't know if the teachers from Taos, Tennessee will quit their jobs because of this. No one knows for sure. But if it happens, I'll report it to you. But if it doesn't, I'm gonna report it. If it works, I'll report it. If it doesn't, I'm gonna report it too. Okay. Going back to the high water bill, there was a man in Rockport who was water bill was like way, way high. I think this happened like a few days ago. His water bill was high, and I hope that I don't know. Okay. So let's go back to that water bill. But before we do that, Governor Greg Abbott visited Corpus Christi the other day to just look at the big freeze. So I can't even find it. So moving on to the I think this wasn't my history, so I'm gonna find it. There we go. You go to a fast food restaurant. Okay, hear me out. Imagine you go into a fast food restaurant and you order a quarter pounder with cheese. But then you realize the employee drops the bun, wipes it on the floor, and then puts it back in while the meat is still cooking. Then imagine it's going over to the manager, you eat that, and it's disgusting. Well, that's what happened. That's what happened almost 5 years ago. From a Checkers worker. Those people were fired because of that video. So because of that video, those people that were responsible for this were fired. And they prepared it like usual. Now, I'm not going to play you the clip, but I am going to describe it to you while I'm watching it. Because I need to get prepared. Now, before we move on, for those of you who don't know what Checkers is, it's a burger and fries restaurant. But is it in Corpus Christi? Nope. It's one of several locations in Texas. So, this employee was wiping down the bun and then he prepares it. And that video got viral, and then the person took action. And that spokeswoman was releasing that video, and after that, the spokeswoman said all the employees are terminated. No. And the company said in the Inside Edition, quote, "We have high food standards for food safety in our restaurants, and this definitely does not meet those standards." And these are other disgusting things, like this guy puts cheese in his nose and then puts it on the burger. Disgusting. And then how about this one? He licks corn tortillas. Disgusting. Followed by this. I think what needs to happen is, you can't fire them. They have to have a choice. One, suspended with pay. Two, be suspended with pay. What that means is you're going to have to retake the food safety course. Number two, termination. Number two, termination. You can't just be like, okay, you're fired. No, you need to take drastic action and have that put in place. You need to be retrained. And if you're taking that quiz, you're taking that food safety course, you need to take it again after the second year. Every 2 years. If you're going to work at a fast food restaurant or any type of restaurant, you should know that every 2 years, after the second year, you need to renew your food handler's permit. And if you do not renew your food handler's permit, you cannot work. Just remember that. And don't be doing all these disgusting things. That's unacceptable. And what's even more unacceptable is this person who spat at a cup at Chili's. I'm not going to show this to you because it is disgusting. And if I am going to show this to you, I'm not showing it to children. People think it's okay to spit in a cup and then deny it, say, I had nothing to do with it. They called the police. In this report, they called the police, and they demanded a DNA test, and it confirmed, and there was a match. He spit in that cup, and when Inside Dish caught up with him, he still denied it. Now that was 5 years ago, and to this day he still denies it. But we don't know if he's still working, and if he did, we wouldn't know. I'll be back in a moment. Finally tonight, going back into truancy. As you may know, every time in this broadcast, I talk about truancy. The reason why it is because no one decides to go to school. The main reason is the bullying. The other reason is they want to help mom and dad pay bills. Now, if you live in Pennsylvania, you should know that all schools are handling absences. And if your child's doing remote learning, then that's the cause of truancy right there. Nobody wants to go to school. I mean, they'd rather do homeschool. Homeschooling costs money. A lot of money. I guarantee you that. So if you want to do homeschool, if your child wants to do homeschool, then you're paying a lot of money. Private school, that's a lot of money. Public school, it's free because our tax dollars pay for that. We pay taxes. And some of those tax dollars go to our schools. Just remember that. Give me a break. We don't need that. Our second last item, public bathrooms in restaurants. I mean, just one thing. I don't have time to mention all of this, but we're going to have a full report about this on Saturday. What I saw in Montana Mike's for my belated birthday dinner was a carving. I did not report it, but if you're going to go to a public bathroom, it needs to be cleaned. Just remember that. That's a short version, and we'll have a full report on that on Saturday. Until then, that's all this edition of Give Me a Break Friday. We'll see you again tomorrow for Give Me a Break Saturday night. Have a good night, everyone. Take care of yourself and each other. Thank you.